Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about my channel and what content I'm going to be putting in there. So, right now, as you can see, it's going to be Chaos Zero Nightmare. It's a gacha game from Smilegate, but that's all here and there. Today's topic is basically my team and what kind of setup I run. What kind of cards I have and the effects of it. So that's the main focus of today's video. To start off, the game basics is basically you use a energy system, aka ether, that kind of pretty much runs what you're doing for the day, or how many ever times you try to log in. Of course, you can use crystals, which are the premium currency in the game, to get more energy, but I highly suggest you don't waste your crystals on energy. Just wait until the next day and then rack up energy from the coffee shop where you can go to Arc City and then do that, which I will get into in another video. Now, to kind of start off, this is my first time ever making a commentary / game video like this, so please leave any constructive criticism in the comments below and be nice. It doesn't take that much to be nice. Anyways, getting to the video. So in this game, I specifically run as my main team Maylin, Hugo, and Mika. Now, Mika is a 4-star unit, and anybody who plays this game will tell you that Mika is one of the most powerful support character in the game. So highly recommended for anyone, especially the free-to-play players, to use her. As for Maylin and Hugo, they are 5-star units, and you can only get them via summon. Now, let's start with Maylin. Maylin, as I said, is a passion character, and she is full-on DPS. So, I love her, and anybody who plays this game will also tell you that Maylin is actually one of the best, if not, in my opinion, for now, the best DPS character. But I'm pretty sure the new limited character Serenial will probably dethrone her, but we'll talk about that in another video. With Maylin, it's about how you build her. You want to build her with cards that are 1 AP or 0 AP. Now, on this screen, as you can tell, that I did not get lucky enough to do that, but I have some really strong cards in this deck. So let's go through it. You have Ember, Strike, which is just a basic, 2 basic cards up at the top. They cost 1 AP each. However, if you use the Unity of Attack and Defense card, you can move them to your hand from either the graveyard or the draw deck, and they'll cost 0. So you can use that continuously, and then it puts 1 Ember on the enemy. And then you have Flame Dragon's Jewel, which on the top row, you can tell it's cut off, but it's a unique / initiation card. Basically, you increase the damage. So let's say so this is a combo setup. I'll just give you an example. Let's say you draw Unity of Attack and Defense, Flame Dragon's Jewel, and some other cards from your other 2 characters that you have. So typically you want to start off with Flame Dragon's Jewel to buff yourself, and then you want to use Unity of Attack and Defense, and then now those 2 strike cards will get a damage boost based on the buff you gave yourself, and then you would just combo that into the enemy. Simple, I know, very basic, but that's pretty much an idea of how you get into building decks. It's all about how much damage you could do with, at the same time, maximizing your AP. And that will get us into Mika. Now, Mika is a 4-star character, as I said, and she is a healer main, but she also has an ability called Source of Water that lets you gain 1 AP. So, with that being said, and the screen you can see that I have a Source of Water, and it gives me 3 AP and a draw 1. So, what that means is that because if you haven't done Chaos mode or Zero mode, which we'll get into in another video, that's where you pretty much go and get these things called Epiphany for your cards. But I'll cover that in another video. But for this one, for Mika, as you can tell, she is a healer. She heals based on whatever percentage the card has. But the 3 AP is where the magic is. So, when you go back to Mei Lin's card, those cards that cost 2 AP. Now, let's say I draw a Source of Water, right? That gives me 3 AP. And then at every turn, at the beginning of every turn, you have 3 AP to start with. I use Source of Water. Now I have 6 APs. And you can see her attack card called Whirlpool. It not only does damage as an AoE to everyone, but it also heals me for 50% for each target hit. And I have a special effect on there, if you read at the bottom, that says always attack weakness, which is a fantastic attack card for a character that's support. Now, obviously, I wouldn't use the Whirlpool card unless I just don't care, like I'm going to win, or I just need some extra heals. But this is just an example of how you want to do it. And yes, those special effects are through what you call epiphanies. Now, that goes into my last character named Hugo. Hugo is very simple, in my opinion. He has a ability called Commence the Hunt. What it does is, take my character Mei Lin, for example. Her ability called Strike, which is a targeted attack, which means it is a single target attack. You activate Commence the Hunt on him by using, let's say, Hunting Instincts. It says you have 1 Commence the Hunt, which is 1 turn with Commence the Hunt. What you do is you activate that first, and then you use your single target attack cards on your enemies. You will do the basic damage of the card, and then he will then do what you call a Commence the Hunt, which is just a follow-up attack. So now you get 2 attacks for the price of 1. And that's how I built him. As you can tell, all his cards cost 0 or 1. Nothing more than that. In Chaos/Zero mode, you get credit, which you can remove cards from your deck. But I will cover that in a separate video, talk about Chaos and Zero. Sorry, I know I said that a few times, but every time I bring up a new, terminology, that I'll explain it. Now, with that being said, so pretty much how my combo is, I use Mika to give me extra AP/heals, so I keep my team healed, and the extra AP is all fed to Mei Lin and Hugo. I'll activate Hugo's Commence the Hunt with either Hunting Instincts or Dingo Howling. Let's keep laughter to a minimum here. And by activating Commence the Hunt via single target damage with Mei Lin, I pretty much supply a continuous rain of damage towards the enemies, and try to beat the enemies quickly as I can, and that's what this is. This one has no shield, but if you go back to Mika has an ability called Blessing of Waves. If you get an epiphany on it, there's an epiphany that I get shield equal to heal amount overflow, which basically means if you're at 1,000 health already, that's your max health, and I heal for an extra 200 over that 1,000, that 200 overflow heal will become my shield. And that's pretty much the basic of it. I built this team like that because I don't have a shielding unit. This is a pretty much attack heal kind of unit, glass cannon. But because Mika is so versatile, I can get away with this kind of card setup. And keep in mind that this deck might not work for everyone, because this game is full of chance, which is something I love about this game. That's what keeps me, kind of gripped and keep playing. But the fact that I can use Mika as not only a healer, but also a shielder, and I can dish out some damage with this one unit, it's just insane. And with Mei Lin being one of the top DPS, and Hugo potentially can also do that, but I feel as though Hugo is better at support DPS because of his follow-up attacks, and Mei Lin be a main DPS. But that's my kind of spiel on my team. I want to thank you guys for listening to me and tuning into my video. We covered a lot of information today, and I apologize for jumping a little bit from here and there. I will definitely fix it and work on that. Please let me know if you guys like the video and if you want to see more. I will continue making CZN videos. I'm loving the game. I'm loving the fact that developers are actually putting in some good work, some good content. And tune in for my next video. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.